Castaway House is an unusual and perhaps unfortunate name for a building whose role in life is to help others. So how did that name come about? Well, in 1895, a group of former naval officers formed a club which they called the Castaway Club. These officers were those who joined the Navy for a short career and then went on to seek their fortune in mainly London-based operations. However, they felt a loyalty towards the Royal Navy which had helped to shape them, and so they formed this club, which was a luncheon club to begin with, but then they felt they wanted to add something back to the Royal Navy, so they created, in the early 1900s, an organisation called the Naval Employment Agency. And that set up the Naval School of Motoring on the site which is now Castaway House in 1907. So how did the RNBT get involved? Well, in 1917, Admiral the Lord Jellicoe, who was then the Commander-in-Chief of the Grand Fleet, in the wake of the Battle of Jutland, was really quite disturbed by the lack of charitable support for his ship's companies that had served him so well. So using £50 of his own money, he set up a benevolent fund called the Grand Fleet Fund. Other commanders-in-chiefs also decided to set up funds for their sailors in their fleets. In 1922, there was a coming together of all of these funds under Royal Charter to create the Royal Naval Benevolent Trust. So the full title of the RNBT is the Royal Naval Benevolent Trust, Grand Fleet and Kindred Funds. So the connection with Castaway House is that in 1922, when the RNBT was established, they were looking for an office in the Portsmouth area in which to set up the benevolence operation. There was a clear synergy between the aims and objectives of the RNBT and those of the Naval Employment Agency. So the Naval Employment Agency offered space within the Naval School of Motoring to the Royal Naval Benevolent Trust so it could set up its Portsmouth-based operation. Such was the success of the arrangement that the following year, in 1923, the site was gifted to the RNBT in perpetuity. The RNBT moved its head office operation from Chatham to Portsmouth in the late 1980s. At that time, there was some spare capacity within Castaway House, which had been redeveloped quite substantially, such that we were able to accommodate other charities who felt that they wanted to move into a purpose-built building whose output was helping other people. The first organisation to come alongside was the Royal Navy and Royal Marines Children's Fund in early 2000.
The Royal Navy and Royal Marines Children's Fund is a charity that started by two orphanages, one in 1834 and one in 1902. We support 2,000 children and we spend £1.3 million a year. The ways in which we support vary a huge amount. It could be from nappies once a month costing £40, or a grant for special needs education or equipment. So the amounts don't really come into question. The trustees decide what the need is. And their thoughts are always, if you give quickly, you give twice, because people who come to us, it takes a lot of courage to come to a charity. And so we try and get a decision as quickly as possible to write things for them. The great thing about being in Castaway House is there are a number of charities here, and between us we can make up a good package of care covering all aspects of need. So actually people can walk off the street and get the help they want, obviously if they need it. Our team is very small. We have two caseworkers and a bookkeeper paid for by Greenwich. And then there's Claire and myself. Claire is the assistant director, and she also runs our events.
As Monique says, I get the fun bit. I get to go out and work with people and tell them about us. I organise events for the charity. I primarily am raising awareness. I manage our website and our Facebook page. For the last 5 years, we've run a children's art competition. This year, we themed it around book characters. We linked up with Aggies downstairs, who have their lovely storybook waves. We targeted children, not only children that are beneficiaries and the families that we've worked with, but at schools in areas where we have a naval presence. It helps us tell people who we are, what we do, and that we're here and why we're here, and that we can help families that need us. That way our caseworkers, that bit's done for them. The families then know where to come and how to find our caseworkers and tell them what it is they need from us.
As the RNBT reduced its headcount still further, so more space was created within the building and more organisations were able to move in, until we have the building which is now the home to 9 individual organisations, some with a virtual presence and some with a full-time presence within the building.
Hello Corinne, I'm Anna Wright, Director of the Naval Families Federation, and what we do here is we are the independent voice of naval families, and we have a little team that answers queries from families, any member of the family, and we are in the privileged position that we have the ears of senior management in the Navy and also the government, so we can get policy changed if necessary. Over here we have Sarah, who is our editor of Homeport, our magazine that goes out to the families and passes on information that the families may not hear because the sailor in their life or Marine might not pass it on to them. The team over here answer the phone. People can contact us via email, Twitter, Facebook. We go out to families' days, and the team are really interested to know, to help out if people are having issues that they can't get resolved, or to let us know of things that they think affect policy and need to be changed. Through here is my deputy, Jane Williams, who is an absolute specialist in accommodation issues and helps out our families.
Perfecto.
So due to the unique nature of naval family life, with the most separated service, so families can be apart for long periods of time, there can be a lot of mobility, so issues such as trying to find a dentist, school places, a lot of challenges that ordinary families don't face, and we aim to be in the corner of those families, representing and supporting them.
Our projects are normally designed to dovetail into the 2 areas above. Storybook Waves, for example, allows a sailor or Royal Marine to record a child's bedtime story, so that in the Storybook Waves tagline, even though my daddy or mummy is away, they always read me a good night story. As a Christian charity, Aggies is motivated by Christ's love and compassion for everyone. This means that the spiritual and faith element of life in its fullness is vitally important to us, and we long for others to find it also, but freely and in their own time. Our work and services are available to everyone, irrespective of belief or lifestyle choices. That's Aggie Westerns in a nutshell. Check out our website for more information or to find out how you can get involved.
Hello, welcome to Naval Military and Air Force Bible Society. My name's Matthew and I'm the Executive Director. Naval Military and Air Force Bible Society was formed in 1779 when 2 Methodists were walking through London and saw soldiers misbehaving in Hyde Park as they'd come back from the wars in America. These 2 Methodists thought that they could improve the lot of the soldiers by providing them with Bibles, and so they went and sought funding, and we've been going ever since.
The Regular Forces Employment Association, commonly referred to as the RFEA, was formed in 1885 to help those leaving the services find and remain in employment throughout their working lives. The RFEA closely works with the other services charities and is the employment arm of the Ministry of Defence's resettlement process, known as the Career Transition Partnership. Those leaving the services can engage with the process up to 2 years before they leave and for 2 years after they've been discharged. In short, the RFEA provides a no-cost recruitment service for organisations seeking the best of the best while providing employment advice to those seeking employment.
We are now on the west wing of Castaway House, where we will meet Sarah from the Women's Royal Naval Service Benevolent Trust. Hello Sarah.
Welcome to the Women's Royal Naval Service Benevolent Trust. The Trust was established in 1942 and provides financial assistance to members and their dependents, both officers and ratings, and receives applications from all over the world through caseworking charities such as SAFA, the Royal British Legion and the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League. On some occasions we are contacted directly by members of our sister charity, the Association of Wrens, who have identified a member who may require our assistance, or by the family of or a member herself. We no longer rely just on contacts via the telephone or the post, as nowadays we receive many inquiries through our website or our Facebook page. Our Grants Committee, all former members of the Women's Royal Naval Service, including 2 who are still serving the Naval Service today, meet fortnightly to discuss the applications received and to decide on the award of a grant. Last year, some 300 beneficiaries received over £318,000. That financial assistance might be awarded by way of regular grants to older members towards the cost of care to be provided either in their own home or in a care home, or simply to help them make ends meet. We also pay regular grants to a number of our younger members who are unable to work through serious physical or mental health problems and who simply would not be able to manage without our support. In recent years, we've seen an increase in requests for support towards household adaptations, such as level access showers, stair lifts, ramps, and other aids to enable mobility and independence, and therefore allowing the applicant to remain living in their own home. We receive many letters of thanks from beneficiaries expressing their appreciation for their grant, and they often highlight the difference the award of a grant has made to their lives with comments such as, "It will prove a great luxury after the winter I have just had, mopping and sponging the rain 5 or 6 times a day," and that from an elderly applicant struggling whilst waiting for hip and knee replacements. The Trust goes to great effort to publicise its continued work, both to the veterans community as well as the serving population, and therefore being co-located with the other charities in Castaway House is a huge bonus and is definitely a case of us being stronger together.
Welcome to Seafarers UK. Here are Julie and Alex to tell you more about their charity.
Thank you, Corinne. Seafarers UK was formed in 1917 to help people in the maritime community by providing vital funding to support seafarers in need and their families. 98 years later, that is what we are still doing, by giving money to charities and projects that are making a real difference to people's lives across the Royal Navy, Merchant Navy and fishing fleets. Last year we delivered 93 grants, totalling £2.5 million, helping to improve the lives of over 170,000 seafarers and their dependents. This figure is further increased, taking into account our work in improving efficiency, collaboration with other maritime organisations and our campaigning on behalf of the wider maritime sector. Our head office is in London, however we've always had an office here in Portsmouth and we also have a presence in Scotland. When we were looking for new premises several years ago, RNBT were quick to offer us an office here in Castaway House, which we were delighted to accept given the support we have given to many of the charities within the building. Here in Portsmouth, we have Alexandra Sard, our Community Support Manager, and myself, Julie Bean, Fundraising Manager for Individuals.
Community fundraising is a key part of our fundraising strategy. 120 volunteers around the country in committees and groups work hard around the year to raise funds for Seafarers UK and to spread awareness. These funds are used in turn to support our grants. I am also responsible for coordinating fundraising concerts for Seafarers UK with the Royal Marines Band, with whom we work very closely.
In 2017, Seafarers UK will be commemorating its centenary. While we will acknowledge all that we have achieved over 100 years, it will also be very much about looking ahead to the future, one which we know will include the many organisations within Castaway House.
The RNBT's main task is to counter the effects of poverty in Charity Commission terms. We deal with up to 70 cases every week. In order to do that, we employ 2 full-time grant administrators and they have 2 part-time assistants. The aim here is to deliver charitable benefit in a timely and efficient fashion. We also run a care and nursing home and an almshouse. The RNBT is a large charity employing more than 100 staff and turning over about £5 million every year. It's a complex financial operation that's headed up by the financial controller, assisted by an accounts officer who also runs the HR side of the Trust's operation. We publicise our work through social media, our website, and at a number of events throughout the year. Costs are kept to a minimum consistent with providing a world-class service. We're an experienced, multifaceted organisation with a voice that both needs to be and indeed wants to be heard in the wider charitable arena. We run a sound, well-structured, efficient and sustainable operation which we're very proud of. So there you have it, Castaway House, a collection of charities and organisations operating in harmony. Our aim is the cost-effective delivery of charitable benefit, and we believe we do just exactly that. The Navy uses the expression, the team works. While those in Castaway House are not formally part of that team, we do, however, provide a support function which is both widely recognised and hugely supported by the serving Navy. We help many thousands of individuals every year, both serving and retired. We also provide a wide range of support and advice on the spectrum of welfare-related matters. Castaway House is only a building. It's a modern, well-equipped building, but it's still only bricks and mortar. It's the people who man the organisations herein that make the real difference to people's lives, whether they're young, old, serving or retired. We're proud of the difference we make to people's lives, and we look forward to doing that long into the future.